This is for, I believe, my aunt. You know, it's crazy because I used to want so bad to to know you, to really have a relationship with you. And as time went on, and I grew up, I was glad I didn't. I never wanted my kids with you. I didn't. Mm-mm. But I'm gonna tell you something that you'll never be grateful. I'm grateful for every experience I've had. I have a disgrace for you and a distaste for you because you literally killed your mom. Not only did you kill your mom, right? But you were hateful. You've always been that way. As long as I can remember, you've always been that way. I would write you or I would try to talk to you and tell you, because I'm your namesake, we're supposed to be like this. I'm happy we weren't. I am. I'm sad that I had to lose a cousin, two cousins, three. I'm sad I had to lose them. I'm sad I had to lose Uncle Anthony. I'm sorry that I had to lose my husband because of you. I'm sorry that my kids, my older children, got connected to you. I'm sorry that I did not um, instill in them the horrible person you were and that you are. I understand exactly why you're so jealous, why you have so much insecurity, and why you would do the things that you would do. Because I remember the stories growing up about how you did Lisa Bemis's parents, and then I remember how you did her when Tamira was living. I remember how you did your job at Dairy Queen, and they would never hire you again. I remember how you did the Iowa State Fair. I remember how you've done everything in your life. It's so messed up. It's not funny. I know that every man that you've ever been with, you have tore them down. You have literally destroyed the person they were before they met you. And I'm grateful. And glory is to God Almighty, the Most High, for removing me, so to speak. You know what's so funny? Is I remember when you said, I bet you he do, I bet you he do. And I bust out laughing, but I told you, what'd I tell you? I said, that man's been in love with me since I was 16 years old. Didn't I tell you that? And I still have the ring on my finger. I told you that too. Not long after that, you had to get married to him, but you had to trick him in doing it. You could not ever give him the free will that we are all given because of Jesus Christ, okay? You literally had to lie, cast illusions, manipulate, deceit, and in the end, you still shown your hand for who you really are, for why you lack the things that you lack in your life. I don't have hatred for people, but I have a very large distaste for you. You sicken me. You do. You are not a good person. You're a piss poor mom. Your actions and lack of action are relevant and they show. You try so hard to demean me and belittle me, but you know what's so funny? I can admit every day that I had an addiction at one point in my life to methamphetamine. And every day I fight to be a better person, better than I was yesterday, better than I was today. I try and do better because I know better. I take accountability for my actions. Never once have I ever been so jealous of a person that I would contact child protective services and have kids removed from them, or sell their childhood home, or murder their husband. Never in my life would I do that. Nor would I sit there and would I play a game of lies and cloak and dagger with children to make them hate their mom. I had to really sit here and think a few moments ago about the type of person you are. I've always known what you were. I think I just didn't want to accept it because we were supposedly relatives, but we're not that. We're not. I don't even carry your name. Not all of it anyway. I had it changed because it sickens me to be connected to you in any way. You literally went on my page. This is how pathetic you are at 63 years old. You went on my Facebook, you went on my Instagram, you went on my TikTok. And you figured out his name and you sent him a message. And then you try to put your nasty ass indiscretions on me. Oh, honey. Oh, baby. Babe, those are your shoes. Only you can fit those. You will never be anything close to me. We may at one point share the same name, but we've never shared anything other than that. The reason I would never have him back in my life is because I knew that you've always been HIV positive. I've known that for many years. I pay attention to medications. You forget, I have a medical degree, okay? And I read very well. Not only that, but you're the most greediest, disgusting lowlife I've ever met. And I often wondered what my grandmother could have done to have something so disgusting as you. Yeah, you notice I'm not being nice. I'm not mincing words at all. And I realized it wasn't my grandmother's fault. She was once like I was. She fell in love with a demon in human form and bore a child by him. Only that child was a demon herself. Had been all her life. And a pedophile who preyed on the lives of the weak, the vulnerable, the innocent, and casted mirrors of illusions against those who would look in on her. You tried to use your, whatever you call it, I wouldn't say feminine wiles because you don't have that. You're just a whore, literally. And every demonic entity that you've ever laid down with is inside of you and attached to you. And that is why you tear down so many men and your own children. You didn't like your daughter because your daughter was too pure for this world, too innocent. And you did everything in your power to corrupt her. God rest her soul. Your son, you couldn't stand. And Anthony wasn't his father. Troy was. You tried so hard to tell people that my son's father was Mike Moody, the police officer. The truth of the matter is, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Michael E.Y. Gideon is the biological father of my son, Christopher. And you're so disgusting that you literally in your pea-sized brain believe that if you have children, it'll keep a man. I don't see any of the other daddies staying. They all left, didn't they? Because they got tired of your shit. They seen you for who you are. You try to play this put-together person. Aren't you tired of putting on airs? Aren't you tired of lying? You've literally hidden the fact, but I've always known because you and Michelle Brooks have been lovers since you first met. While you were dating, I believe it would be her cousin-in-law, Bobby, Tamira's father. You guys had started your relationship back then and have kept that same relationship all these years. Instead of you doing the crime, why don't you do something productive, self-worthy, self-respect. No, not you. You'll literally commit the crimes and then for 10 years be on the DEA snitch list. Mm-hmm. Then you want me, I shut the hell up, I don't, No, I'm not. You used the same black magic on my mom. Mm-hmm. I know. The funny thing is, you have so much to pay for. You do. For the innocent lives that you've taken, the young girls, the young boys that you've molested, and every one of those CPS workers involved and supervisors that were involved in assisting you with that, they have yet to begin to get theirs. And then, trust me, they are. And every police officer from Franklin on that you were screwing, they're going to get theirs too. Karma comes full circle. It does. And the saddest thing is that you included your own children. You included your own nieces and nephews. You manipulated my son and my daughter so badly that for a moment there they picked up your same traits and habits. Not anymore. See, the difference between you and I is I've always been a good mother. I just had sorry bastards trying to defy it. Lying, manipulating, deceitful bitch. You stole my house. You literally sold my house right in front of me. I watched you. I watched you that day. To Fannie Mae. Don't worry. Because you won't have anything. You will not have anything. And I promise you that because I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you for defamation of character, identity theft and fraud, both criminally, and I'm going to sue you civilly. You understand? And every one of those individuals within that community who believed your stupid ass lies, did you let them know what they received? Did you? For every one of you who listened to her lies and Michael's lies and fell into the mix and called yourselves coming up against me, you welcomed yourself to hell. You literally signed your soul over pretty much. And you didn't even know it, did you? That's why it is imperative that you listen to your intuition, that you pay close attention to the things in which people say, because the devil is a silver-tongued devil. You, when I was 18, promised and made a deal with Von Camp for $500 to murder me 20 days after my 18th birthday, which would have been April 27th, 1995. Where he turned around and hit me in the face with a machete. And my mother shot him. Your exact words, I believe, were, oh, don't worry about her. She ain't gonna do shit. She fooled you, though, didn't she? You have been doing the same BS that you've been doing all your life. The insecurities that you have, you deserve. You deserve them. You really do. And instead of being someone who people could look up to and want to be like, I despise you. You turned around and you had all 7 of your nephews' children taken, split up, and put into a system, along with their mother, who's a groomer, who you've been having a relationship with. Know all about it. In fact, it was you who put her on him. Know all about that too. And you're right. I will never have you in my life again. You will never be anything to me again. And then on my father's side of the family, you were screwing both him, his sister, and his wife, wasn't it? I know all about it. You were so deceitful and disgusting that you did some fucked up shit with your own mother's old man, your stepfather, our grandfather. You're disgusting. And you've assisted over the years in getting rid of the elders in our family, one by one. And you've monopolized off of their deaths with insurance. You and Michael also assisted in the death of my husband, Robert. Michael is the one who stole the life insurance policies out of my home. While Robert was outside talking to our neighbor, Michael snuck his ass inside my house and then broke my husband's neck to an extent, the cadaver bone that was in his neck. Then you committed violation of my HIPAA rights along with Michael, with one of your relatives that work in the medical billing records department. That person will be sued as well as that hospital, as well as you. Sure did. Aunt Robin was actually in remission. It had come back, but they were keeping it controlled. They were. That is until you decided to do what you always do. You got low on funds, and you took my aunt's life. Because what happens when you do black magic on people, especially black magic, mental magic, what happens is they start to display signs of dementia. And she had a tumor in her brain. She'd probably still be here today, but you forced the issue. You pushed the envelope. That is why you have her son consistently at your restaurant, which subsequently you have child labor that does all the cooking for you. You don't do shit, but sit on your ass and collect a penny. And that doesn't belong to you. That belongs to them kids. Let's talk about it. My niece was young when you had her committing hacking into corporations for your good. Then when the school found out, you wanted to punish her. Your jealousy when it comes to me is ridiculous. It's sad, actually. It is. Because what you don't understand, because I don't think you get it, is that it doesn't take a lot to be a good person. But your heart's been black since the day you were born. Just like you took it upon yourself to get readings while my mom was pregnant with me. I know all about it. Just like in 2018 and 2019, when you learned where we lived after sending Uncle David to our location. My mother got sick in 2019. And who just happened to be the buzzard bitch that was around? You. 2 years before I moved up here to Cedar Rapids, Greg Roshan dropped dead on a bike path not far from my location at 3800. Come to find out, he had just met with you, wasn't it? You just gave him a little something. Died. He was dead before he hit the ground. You've done a lot. Aunt Tracy. And it's not like they came to you and said, would you help me take my life? They didn't do that. You didn't do a Dr. Kevorkian. You didn't do a mercy thing, a mercy killing. You didn't do that. You didn't do a dignity killing. You didn't do that. You did a greed killing. You did a murder. And everybody who assisted you or just watched on as you did the things that you did in your little kitchen that were complacent, they will have to answer for those things too. This is how foolish you were. Here I am in your family, have been for 47 years. And somehow or another, none of you seen the blessing that God had given you. And none of you seen the walking karma or the God's eyes that sit before you. So everything that you did to me, everything that you did against me, I didn't have to stand up and say what you did because he seen all things that you all did. He heard all things that you all did. Just like you assisted my uncle on my dad's side, Ricky, in taking the life of his mother. Started out with mental magic. Then while she was in a nursing home, someone put their hand on her chest and spoke demonic words over her, which then took her life. You all, the 5 men and the rest of you idiots, all know each other because of one thing, your hatred for me. And the thing is, what you hate most about me are the very things you can't be because you sold your souls. For what? For what? So, not only did you help with your children's death, you helped push it along on both of them. You forgot I was there that night, huh? At that hospital. When that young man came in with the Hy-Vee bag, the Hy-Vee paper bag, slid it under the chair. You threw him a shirt or something out of your purse. When he came out, he threw the other one back to you. Grabbed the bag and left. It shocked you when you see my mother because you screamed grandmother's name. I knew when those doors opened and there was nobody there. And then those emergency doors opened behind the police officers. I knew it was Tamir and the angel of death. You knew it too. But you had to put on a performance so no one would think or be any wiser, right? And let me tell you, you deserve an Emmy if that. If that. You've turned a lot of good people bad. You made a lot of good people go evil. Temptation is something else. What pisses you off most, and this is what you say, she always gets everything handed to her. She always got a good man. I ain't never had a good man. If that's a good man, then I don't want to see a bad one. I don't. But I never got anything handed to me. I busted my ass every day. I endured shit that would have killed you and anybody you had on your little crew and your little coven. You guys couldn't have withheld half of the shit that I went through. Then you guys have the nerve to throw rocks and hide hands. Call police and file fake police reports against me. Get upset when I know things. Spread lies about me. I've never been promiscuous. You have though, haven't you? You didn't give a damn whose man it was. Whether it was Aunt Robin's, your mom's, your sisters, your cousins, your friends, your nieces. But what you didn't expect is my reaction to you. You expected me to, that's what you do. That's what drives you. You have to have someone who you are codependent on. You fell in love with Michael. And it's funny because your lies, he literally believed. It is. And he walked himself right out of a soul contract. But he would have done that anyway because you have HIV. And he is HIV positive. You both constructed this magnificent lie that I was the one that gave it to him. But I haven't slept with Michael, not since we were 16 and 18 years of age. I've been pregnant by him twice. What is this I've heard that you've borrowed children? That not one of those kids are really his? Maybe one is, they said. It amazes me every day. because I remember the two children that you should have never had placed in your care because of the fact that you're a huge multi-felon. And they were Caucasian. And you were very, very ignorant and very racist and very degrading to those babies. I remember that. I remember the lies that you told each and every one of those CPS workers. Andy Jones, Nicole Mundy, Ann Soroka, all of them. I remember. I do. Yep, I sure do. The sad part is, he didn't marry Copa Burst, did he? He married Copa Logan McMains Jr., didn't he? That's the name you signed on it, right? That's the name that you signed at Bank of America? Or like, that's the name you signed when you went and took your ass to Miami? Huh? You're sick. You know, because the funny thing is that Carl Burst, our grandfather, wasn't sick like that. But you knew that. In fact, he died fairly quickly. And that's because of you. And then his daughter died almost immediately. And God does take things in threes. He does. You know what's so sad, though? Is how you literally thought you were going to play two gods. You don't realize that you're morally corrupt as well as spiritually corrupted. You know your house is nasty because of the graveyard magic, the kitchen magic, the Google magic, and every other magic you guys could think of. The sad part is you introduced your kids to these things. You took from them innocence and free will too. The young ladies that are in their lives, you put magic on them too. On Joe too. On the hitman that you picked up and drove to Denver. Or excuse me, Philadelphia. There's not an aspect of what you've done that I don't know about. You've ever heard the term play stupid? You don't gotta play stupid anymore. My mother had told me days before she had her quote unquote stroke that would result in her being dementia diagnosed. I knew all about the doctor too at Unity Point. I knew about the shot he gave her too. There's not an aspect of anything that you idiots have done that I have not analyzed and that my gut has not told me I was accurate on. And my gut being my intuition. For instance, Elizabeth Schaefer, the attorney in Cincinnati. Dee Henry, the CEO of Green Dot, your connection's there too. You don't deserve life, but you don't deserve to die. You deserve to have to spend every day of your life suffering slowly, and that would be in prison. That would be in prison. It's crazy because Deborah Myers and all of them know you, don't they? It's funny because I used to wonder, how the hell could somebody like you sell dope, sell children into human trafficking, harvest organs, harvest their life sources, stand up there and say, save our children, save our sons, when in fact you were the monster, not the mom, not the mother, the monster behind each and every one of their deaths. You sold them in, taking yet again innocence. So yeah, I don't want you to die. That's too good for you. I want you to have to suffer, just like those babies did. Just like every life you've ever come in contact with did. Every life you've ended too soon. From Uncle Raymond. Uncle Lewis was what? How many of those before Uncle Lewis was? What number was Uncle Lewis? Because great-grandma, she was one too, huh? And that's because you wanted to be the monarch. And you got upset because you weren't. Grandma had named me that. It's sad, huh? You're a materialistic person. You really are. It's funny, though, because you've included so many people. And the mayor of Des Moines, you should really watch yourself. Because you don't deserve your post, honey. And many of you are pedophiles. Yes, I said it. In fact, I can point down quite a few, including Des Moines Police. Oh yeah, Des Moines Police especially. So, you're not at all somebody trustworthy. You've never been. You're not somebody that I would wish my worst enemy in having to deal with. So, for the sake of humanity and others that may have the opportunity, if you're listening to me, it is in your best interest to raise your vibration and get out of the karmic pick-me error, because you're going to lose miserably, horribly. You still have an opportunity to go to God and ask for forgiveness through repenting, taking accountability, and being open and honest and changing this state of your heart. Unharden your heart and let love in. Let light and love in and raise your vibration. Own what you've done and learn from your karmic and karma lessons. If you can't learn, you remain in that state, and when time comes, it comes. Judgment comes. So I'm telling each and every one of you who participated, Bernard, Camila, because you're jealous. You've been jealous of me since we were kids, they said. All of you, Jamal, Byron, you don't have to believe that I have spiritual gifts. It's none of your business. You don't have to believe that God chose me. You don't have to believe anything. You really don't. But if you're intelligent in any aspect of the word, what you would do is you would immediately go to God. That is the only person that's going to be able to help you. And repent the things that you've done, the lives that you've harmed. Repent your sins. Openly, honestly, truthfully, wholeheartedly, and do it with an open heart. Because he doesn't judge the outside appearances like humans do. We judge the outside appearance of people. God judges the inside appearance, and that's your heart. And if your heart don't fit the bill, don't weigh the bill, that's something you have to deal with. But I would surely get my ass away from her and sever all ties with her immediately. And to my little cousins, I understand that's your mom. Trust me, I know how difficult it could be not to have somebody that you could pick up the phone and call and say, hey, Mom, what are you doing? Hey, Mom, what do you think about this? I know, because I went through that. And, as I got older, since, my mom went in 2019, I was an adult, but I grew mentally with wisdom. And I realized that God and her had made a decision that was best for me. And it was for me to grieve her as if she had already passed, so that I could learn to rely on myself and God strategically, wholeheartedly, trustworthily. You understand? Everyone has failed me. except for God. And I've made mistakes, but I've owned them. And I've taken responsibility for them. I've never set people up. I've never set someone up like Copa, Michael, Camila. You're all my family, supposedly, right? Shh. You guys did all of this for some life insurance and some property. And I'm just like, I couldn't do that to y'all. That's how come we're not the same. I love wholeheartedly, unconditionally. I get out my bed in the middle of the night for each and every one of y'all. I've done that. Gas tank on E. Me, God, and wing and a prayer got me to you guys and got me home. And got me to take my kids to school the next day or to handle whatever I needed to. So, no, we're not the same. Because I don't screw behind my family. And I don't need to lie on you. But I will mirror you every time you see me. But this will be the last. The last time you see me, you'll know when you'll see me. Because I'll look you dead in your face. And it will be the very last. And you will have to live with the fact that you will no longer be an aunt to me. And we will no longer have communication. I will never talk to you again. And I will never talk to the rest of my family again either. And it's best that way. And I hope that the kids that are an adult now, who had their free will and illusions cast over them and their free will taken from them, I hope now that you're awoke, that you raise your vibration. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't feel pity for yourself. Don't have hatred for her. Love her. She's still your mom. She's still your aunt. But love her from afar. Love her with a wood head and a spoon. Respect her because she's still your mom. And to my kids, there would not be a day that I would have ever allowed anybody to hurt you. Understand that. And if you feel that I've hurt you in any way, you should have come talk to me. Robin, I did what I did when you got in that car accident because you needed to learn a lesson. I wasn't going to bail you out. I wouldn't bail your brother out. If you were caught drunk driving, I wouldn't bail him out either. But you weren't. You were rushing and you were messing with the stereo and you ran into the back of someone's car. The difference is the both of you were in trouble because he was a speed racer and you were just driving, excuse me, reckless. So just know that. I showed you tough love because you were better than me because I raised you to be better than me. But as your mom, don't ever think that I wouldn't have went to the depths of hell to defend you, to protect you, because you have no idea. You didn't open up to me. You chose to allow a bunch of liars, a bunch of immature demons to manipulate your minds, Chris and Robin. And you allowed yourselves to hate me for acts in which I was not responsible for. So just know that no matter what someone says about me, I will always love you. You're my babies. You're the reason that I got up every day to breathe. You're the reason I fought and put my own life on the line to give birth to you. The grace that I have shown all of you has been a gift. The mercy I've shown all of you has been a gift. The forgiveness that I've given you all has been a gift. And you've all taken it and you've all misused it. And those of you who have been a part of this coven and have gone to Aruba, Egypt, Africa, Siberia, and Tibet. You know who you are, Copa, Michael, and Louisiana. Understand something. Michael, your mother played you, sweetheart. Her and Copa have known each other for many, many years. The whole purpose that you weren't supposed to stay around me or come around me was because Copa and your mother had already had a plot. So, to the mothers who are actually being mothers and teaching their children about God, bless you. Thank you. To those of us such as myself who have not done right by our children, by bringing them up in the manner in which we had made a promise to God in doing, may we find forgiveness of ourselves and go on to teach our grandchildren and any other children that we have, whether they're naturally or biologically or adopted or whatever, or just children in the community. May we teach them about the grace of God, the goodness of God, and the glory in Him. May we raise His name and to the heavens and back for all to hear and see, for He is the only living God there is, and that there will ever be. He is the beginning and the end of all things. Know that we are parents, temporarily parents, because our children are only loaned to us, but we gave them gifts and they give us purpose. Okay? So, kiss your babies, protect your babies, and always give thanks to God. God bless.